Hello there, welcome to another talk, and this talk is called Talk on Why the Big Spiritual Awakening is So Important. Well, if I think of, my path, I wouldn't be on this path right now if it wasn't for the awakening. I certainly wouldn't have looked this stuff up or anything like that. The way that I was going, I was someone who took any drug that was going, drank alcohol, even overdosed on one or two times on stuff and tried to kill myself, but didn't happen. I was just sick. But the awakening came and that changed everything, but that's not why it's so important. The reason it's so important is because the spiritual awakening connects you with the source of all. There's a source where all life comes from. Like I saw a scientist the other day saying, where does this something come from? Well, it's what people call God, which is the source of all life. There's a one infinite creator. And the spiritual awakening, all of a sudden when I had the spiritual awakening at the age of 24, I have new awakenings all the time, but the big one that opened me up to everything, exploded my consciousness and mind. Then I started to receive relentless knowledge. You see, the spiritual awakening is the fifth dimension. People that haven't had the awakenings yet are in the third dimension, right? The difference is that third dimensional beings are very, very 5 sense based, right? They're not accessing any other knowledge apart from this reality. That's what the third dimension. Fifth dimension. Fourth dimension is when people start interacting with spiritual things a little bit. Fifth dimension is when you're interacting with source and you're receiving knowledge now from anything from source. So, and also beyond that, because you go to the source, you're going up through the dimensions into infinity. But, what they call the fifth dimension, that is ultimately the spiritual awakening dimension. And it doesn't mean that as soon as you have an awakening, you're a fifth dimensional being, but it means that you're interacting with that now. So you're able to ascend. And it means that these people that have had the awakenings, they are the most genuine spiritual teachers, because they're being taught and have been learned from the greatest master of them all, which is God and the source, the creator. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening at the age of 24, and all of a sudden I was receiving healing, knowledge, understanding, and still now, ever since that awakening. And it happened because I sat down one day and had enough. I had enough of everything up to that point, and I had it. And because it was the first time in my life I was ever authentic or heart-based, and therefore, when you mean it, the divine will connect with you. God lets you do your own thing. God is the source. And then once you're ready, when you mean it, God connects with you, and that's what happens in the spiritual awakening. And that's why it's so important. People that have spiritual awakenings, it's not being big-headed or anything. They are on a different level of consciousness, right? To someone that's not had that yet. You're talking about at least two dimensions higher. Some of them are even beyond that, depending on how far they are with their spiritual awakening process. You know, and so that's why it is so important, because of what it connects you to. There is no physical course that you can do in this planet, or even book, that can give you this. The awakening is a complete game changer. Because it's in this world, they like to box everything and label it and make a course out of it or something. And they have never been able to do that with spiritual awakening. Never. That's because to spiritually awaken, they say that you've got to be chosen. I don't personally believe that. I believe that we can be chosen if we choose to be chosen. So it's not that anyone's better. Like when I had enough, for example, that was me choosing myself to spiritually awaken. So that's all one has to do to spiritually awaken. I awakened from a moment of authenticity, and that showed me that anyone can do that if they mean it. But having said that, maybe I was meant to go through all the bad stuff to go through it, and it was written beforehand. That's what I believe also. That it's all arranged before you come here, like a pre-birth plan, they say. But yeah, the spiritual awakening is so important because it is the source of all life. And like I say, there's no courses that can give you this. You know, these people that say that are frauds. You know, and they give you a course on chakra. If you're interacting with chakras, that means you're spiritually awakening. There's no course that can do that for you. These people are liars. And they don't care that you're not going to be in the same league as someone that's had an awakening. And it's not a competition, but you want to have the real experience. You know, and I just thought I should talk about this because there's a lot of fakes out there that are conning people. I don't charge any money for what I do. I mean, I share all my information, everything I've went through, and a little donation, I'm happy with that. You know, there's a donation page on my website. You know, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm not here to make money off of it. I'm here to share the knowledge. And in return, I got the awakening. And, but the next question probably is, how do I get, or you're listening, how do I get a spiritual awakening? Well, you just do what I do and you be heart-based. That's all I done, but I didn't know I did that at the age of 24. You be authentic, right? And if you mean it, then your awakening will start just like mine did. Everyone's got the power within them to do this. It's not that anyone's better. You know? I mean, what's the difference between the 144,000 and everyone else? The 144,000 proved themselves. So they got granted that job of coming here having the awakenings. But anyone can prove themselves. Because everything comes from the same one infinite creator. So it means that anyone can access anything they want and they can do anything they want. You know, and so it's all about taking responsibility and choosing to awaken yourself. Face yourself. You know, don't be scared to, because you're going to feel more pain to not face yourself than you will if you face yourself. So yeah, you know, the spiritual awakening is so important because it connects you with who you truly are. And like I went through, then you start getting the knowledge. And to do that, what did I do? I just was heart-based for a moment. Try it. That's what I done. Right? I only know the way I spiritually awaken. I didn't read any books, do courses or anything. But like I said earlier, there's no course that can give you this. You know, this is something that can only come from within you. Same as chakra courses, it's con merchants. You talk about chakras, you're talking about spiritual awakening. That experience is a within thing, right? You have to go deep within yourself to manifest that experience. And then you go on a chakra awakening alignment path. And that leads to Kundalini, Tantra energies, and Source, and all that kind of ascension stuff. But it starts the moment that you decide to live from your heart, as I did, and all is within you. I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, songs, news, research, talks, and much, much more, please do visit my website. My website address is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you.